Ladies and gentlemen, welcome tonight to our business meeting. Thank you so much for being here with us. Today is Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. It's 7:02 p.m. We're convened today as the Provo City School District Board of Education. We're meeting at 280 West, 940 North in Provo, Utah, and we're going to begin tonight's business meeting with a roll call. We'll start with Board Member Hall.
Melanie Hall, Board Member.
Gina Hales, Board Member.
Meg Van Wagenen, Board Member.
Wendy Dow, Superintendent.
Rebecca Nielsen, Board President.
Jennifer Partridge, Vice President.
Terry McCabe, Board Member.
Lisa Boyce, Board Member.
Devin Daly, Business Administrator.
Great, thank you so much. And thank you for everyone who's here with us tonight in person, and for those joining us online, we're happy to have you. Is there a motion to convene our business meeting?
I move that we convene our business meeting.
Thank you so much. Motion made by Board Member Boyce. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Hales. We're now in our business meeting. We're going to have some opening remarks tonight given by Vice President Jennifer Partridge.
Okay, thank you. So I recently had the opportunity to spend some time in Paris, and while I was there, I couldn't take a complete break, and I had a few thoughts that related to our work we do as a school board and with children. So two things I just wanted to share. First of all, I was at Disneyland Paris, and I loved watching the families with their kids, and they were speaking languages I could not understand. And the great thing over there is there's lots of different languages that you're hearing. But just to see, you can see in their interactions and in their faces, just the love that they have for their kids. And it just reminded me, I guess it was more apparent because I couldn't understand what they were saying, right? And it just reminded me that all of us want what's best for our children, wherever we are in the world, no matter what language we speak. And that is the work we are doing here in our district. Our wonderful teachers who want that for their students, and all of our families that we serve want what's best for their children, and our job is to help in supporting that for them. I also had the opportunity, I don't speak French, so it was interesting to be in certain situations and not know what was being said. And it made me think about our students who are new to our country and are in our schools and aren't understanding everything that is being said. It helped me gain more empathy for what they're going through. And for me, English is a second language for many people in Europe, and so I was still able to figure things out and just say, do you speak English? And could find someone pretty easily to help me. A lot easier than a lot of our new to country students and the things that they must go through every day. And just had empathy for them, and also just want to thank the hard work that our teachers are doing. And I know we've been talking as a board about what more we can do to support those students in learning English and in reaching out to their parents and communicating to the parents in a way the parents will understand. So I'm grateful for the efforts we're making on that, and want to just continue to do that and continue to support our students. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Board Member Partridge. We're now going to be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Cannon. I'm going to say Hopot, but I'm going to hope Cannon will help me know how to pronounce that correctly. So Cannon, if you would come up, and he is a sixth grader at Spring Creek Elementary, and you can go ahead and come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Tell us how to say your name.
Tell us how to say your last name.
Hopoate.
Hopoate. Okay, I was actually going to go with that, and then I changed my mind. I should have done it. Okay. Thank you for being here, Cannon.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Cannon. Right, we're going to go ahead and start our community connections section of our business meeting tonight. We are going to start first with our employee recognition, and Jason Cox will come up and let us know all about our Provo Way Awards this month.
Yeah, thank you, board members. I just wanted to say thank you to you for your commitment to recognize all the wonderful people who work and support us and volunteer in our schools. We're at that time of year when coming up we're going to have our retirement celebration. We're going to have our Teachers of the Year, our Classified Employees of the Year. So we're going to get a chance to do a lot of recognitions. And tonight we have some wonderful people who are being recognized as Provo Way Award winners. If you're here tonight, I'll have you stand. We have Aspen Dye, Chris Chilcote, Janelle Hughes, Logan Telford, and Heather Williams. Let's give them all a round of applause. Okay, we've a video, and after we see the video, we'd love to give you the opportunity to thank them personally. So we'll go ahead and go through the video, and then when we're finished, we'll have you come up and allow each of them to thank you, starting on this end, and just being careful. We have a little cord in front here, but we'll go with the video.
Janelle is a master at connecting with students, forming positive relationships with families, with parents, to motivate students to help them achieve even greater outcomes than we even know possible.
Logan is a friend. He's a friend of the students. He's a friend of the staff. He takes time to get to know people and their circumstances and what they may be struggling with, and is very compassionate and very knowledgeable. Very easily deserves and earns this award at this time.
Anything that needs fixed around here or that we have a problem with, any of us come to you, you're automatically just so willing to drop what you're doing, step up, come in and help to make sure that our building's safe and secure and everything's clean and tidy, and we wanted to get you recognized for that.
She expects excellence. She chooses really high quality music. She believes in your ability to learn the music, and then helps raise you to the level that she knows that you can produce. My son has been able to participate, but also all of the students in the school. I feel like it makes the school a better place.
In the summer, I ride my bike to school, and I had my tube, I think, in my tire was popped, and so I left it, and I told one of the teachers that stay outside, and after school I come back, he replaced the tube in my tire while I was in school, and those are the top reasons why I love my principal, Mr. Chilcote. He is awesome.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, if you don't mind, we'd love to give the board members a chance to thank you personally. So if you want to come up, and we'll have you start on this end and move on through. But again, thank you so much for your service.
Thank you so much. Hi, John. Thank you.
Let's go ahead and give our award winners one more. We are so so very lucky to have all the employees that we have in our district and so many wonderful people who work in our schools. So thank you again for all of your wonderful work. We're going to go ahead and have a school report now from Principal Ruth Ann Snow from Spring Creek Elementary School. And before you get started, if you don't mind, you can go ahead and stand up here, but I just want to remind the public that after we hear from Principal Snow, we will, and after we hear from the superintendent, we will have time for public input. So if anyone's interested in giving input to the board tonight, you'll just need to fill out a form. It's over here on this table on my right, and give it to our secretary, Bonnie Totkus, over here. And if you fill out that form, you're welcome to give input to the board this evening. But now, Principal Snow.
Hey, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's a pretty easy task when you get to come and talk about a school that is beloved and doing great things. To give you the essence of what Spring Creek stands for, our mission statement says, at Spring Creek Elementary, we believe that we are leaders ascending to excellence. Our mission is continuous progress for all. The hawk is our mascot and reminds us to spread our wings wide to help us soar to great heights. We believe in showing kindness, owning our learning, acting safely, and responding responsibly. What affects one affects all. As Spring Creek Hawks, we don't fly, we soar. Something I wanted to show you is our current enrollment. We have 456 students. Our K through 6th grade makes up 420 of those students with 36 preschoolers. According to the latest free and reduced lunch report, we have 71.8 students who qualify for this benefit. 43% of our students are multilanguage learners, and 16% of our students are classified as students with disabilities. If you look to the graph on your left, you can see over the past 4 years that enrollment continues in a steady upcline, which is what we want to see. So that's something to be celebrated. Spring Creek is somewhat unique in that we have a high teacher retention rate. According to our school report card from the end of last year, we have a retention rate of 64%. In looking at our teacher experience, close to 60% of our teachers have at least 4 years or more experience in teaching. Typically, our teachers come to Spring Creek and they stay, which is a great benefit to our school community. Something that is really wonderful about Spring Creek and that enriches all of our students with different opportunities is our specialty classes. Students are able to participate twice a week for 30 minutes in visual arts, music, library, and PE, and they greatly benefit from this experience. I want to highlight a couple of areas of growth from our RISE data from the end of this last school year. Our average growth in English language arts was 63.2%. If you look to the right, you can see that we are just above the school and district average in English language growth. When you look at the subgroups that we like to keep a close eye on, including economically disadvantaged, students with disabilities, our English language learners, and homeless population, those students are hovering close to 60% in their performance of growth. To the left is our Acadience reading K through 6 data, and this is from the end of last year. Note that on the school report card under early literacy, it only accounts for 1st through 3rd grade, but as a school, we look at, of course, as the district as well, K through 6th grade, and that's where these numbers are coming from. Our overall proficiency was 62%, and our progress or growth was 75%. And looking at our math RISE data growth, we were classified in the high category with 67.8% of our students showing growth in mathematics. That's well above the district and state averages. And if you look at our subgroups of students, economically disadvantaged, our students with disabilities, English language learner, and homeless populations, they scored even higher in growth in these areas in the area of math. One of my celebrations with Spring Creek is the last 2 years we have, as a school and faculty, spent a lot of effort and time in learning more about how to teach our multilanguage learners, specifically reading and comprehension. And you can see from the WIDA access scores from the end of last year that where the yellow star is are, I think, points of celebration. Our English language learners who are making adequate progress increased 6.6 percentage points. In our proficiency, we had an increase of 13.7% from the previous year, which is validating with the efforts that our teachers are putting in to not only learning best strategies, but then applying it in the classroom learning. You can see how we compare, again, to district as well in proficiency and in progress there. And again, all of this is taken from the school report card. The next thing I really want to celebrate are our PBIS efforts and supporting our students' social emotional needs. We have used Educator's Handbook as a really important tool to help guide our decision making as well as our goal setting. And something that we saw in the data from last year was that our K through second graders come in with more behaviors and struggling with regulation of emotions, boundaries, things like that. So we decided to do something very different this year, and we're seeing great success. Every Friday, our student success team pre-teaches a second step social skills lesson on Fridays as a grade level. Then the following week, those classroom teachers further support and teach on a daily basis that social skill. We've seen a decrease in our physical aggression in these grade levels from the previous school year. In addition, our K through 6th grade teachers all implement second step weekly social focus lessons and refer to that. It's something that we embrace and has been a great benefit. In addition, from the get-go of this school year, we had our school social worker, we've had an intern social worker, and a full-time student success coach, along with our district student success coach who's with us half-time, really help with supporting weekly friendshiping groups for students who've been identified by teachers or parents. Something that has been a game changer for us this year, and I want to thank specifically just district personnel who made this happen, is our current social worker, like myself, does not speak Spanish, and we just have found that we've had about 30 at least new to country students, primarily speaking Spanish, who have come with some really difficult journeys in getting here, and we noticed at the beginning of the year, and as we had more students enroll, that we were not able to provide the same social emotional supports to these students because their native language was something other than English. So with district support and a grant, we have someone from Wasatch Behavioral Health coming every Monday to support our newcomers who have been identified. This has changed the behavior, the happiness of these students, and it's something I am so thrilled and grateful for, that support. In addition, we do a lot of positive focus. Something we rebranded somewhat this year, really wanting to embrace our mascot and what that means to our students with SOAR cards. And so, of course, we do weekly drawings for that, and the kids have been earning all year the different bracelets representing each of those characteristics. We also have Student Hawks of the Month. You can see a picture of one of our 6th graders. Those students who are chosen by their teacher are chosen because of their improvement or good attendance and representing those SOAR attributes. They get a $10 gift card to Amazon and a school t-shirt. Something also we began at the beginning of the year in part of our teacher training and back to school was encouraging Tier 1 and 2 behavior supports, empowering teachers in their capacity to support children in the classroom when it's not at a level of disrupting learning. And so our teachers have embraced this. Most of our teachers have a calm down corner in their classroom, and this is an example of one of our 5th grade classrooms. Again, just giving tangible tools to students based on those skills and things that they're learning in the classroom. Finally, I know that from my vantage point, it's something that I've thought very intentionally about. What can I bring to you as a council to say that is crucial in continuing to support Spring Creek teachers, students, and the community? First and foremost are small class sizes. What we see is this enables our teachers to meet the vast academic and social emotional needs of our students. At Spring Creek, for the last 3 years now, our teachers have been taking the lead in all core instruction, and that includes during what a lot of schools call win time, where students are getting what they need. They take that lead. And so having smaller class sizes allows grade level teams to be able to work together and share students to support them in whatever it is they need, whether it's an intervention or an enrichment. And then also just the multi-language learner support. At Spring Creek, ML support is not a pull-out group. While that's a small part of it, we're building teacher capacity to say this is something you can do, and they have been doing in the classroom in their Tier 1 and Tier 2 instruction. Second, I want to give a plug for our after-school program. Kimmy Martinez, our coordinator, has built an incredible program. I have never seen an after-school program run as well and positively as this program. It's a safe space for our students. They get homework support and additional support in core skills such as English language arts and math. And then we provide enrichment opportunities like theater through a partnership we have with UVU, their support, visual arts and robotics. And then as well, we provide additional language support for our multi-language learners. This is a place where those students can come and develop friendships. And this is something that we are planning intentionally on providing additional support in language specifically next year in our after-school program. Finally, I've already kind of touched on this, but just stressing how critical and helpful it has been this year to have a full-time social worker and an intern who is there 3 days a week, who runs around and equally is supporting students along with our social worker. Our school-based SST coach, we've been able to fund that through our Trust Lands plan, and I'm grateful for our community support in doing that. Having someone there full-time has made a big difference. And again, just as I mentioned, the additional grants that we've received this year to provide that support to our new-to-country students. So in the end here, I want to play just a short video. I had a vision and, an idea in my head, and with the help of Alexander Graves and Shauna and Caleb, they really took on what I asked and made it come to life. And so this is just a visual short clip for you to see what it looks like to soar at Spring Creek Elementary. Now, what is the correct button to push? Is it the next button? Okay.
Welcome to Spring Creek Elementary, where the Hawks soar high by embodying the principles of the SOAR program. Show kindness, own learning, act safely, and respond responsibly. In this brief journey, we'll explore how Spring Creek students bring these values to life in various aspects of their school day. In the hallways, Spring Creek students demonstrate their commitment to SOAR by keeping hands, feet, and objects to themselves. They walk in a straight line, maintain quiet voices, and most importantly, they actively listen to their teachers. Let's take a peek into the cafeteria, where Spring Creek Hawks continue to soar. They keep their hands on their own food, use indoor voices, and always clean up after themselves. Waiting for permission to dump trays and properly dispose of trash are just a few ways they ensure a safe and respectful environment. No running allowed. It's all about walking with purpose. Outside on the playground, our Hawks soar to new heights. They invite others to play, ensuring everyone feels included. Safety is paramount as they share equipment, avoid physical aggression, and promptly line up when the bell rings. It's all about creating a positive play experience. Even on the bus, our Spring Creek students maintain their commitment to SOAR. They sit in their assigned seats, face forward with hands and feet to themselves and use indoor voices. It's all about creating a safe and respectful journey to and from school. Inside the school, even the bathrooms are spaces where SOAR principles are upheld. Students use indoor voices, quickly take care of their needs, and contribute to maintaining a clean environment. If an issue arises, they know to promptly inform a teacher. No playing in the bathroom. It's all about respect and responsibility.
The SOAR program has truly made a positive difference in our school culture. It's not just about rules, it's about creating an atmosphere where students feel valued and respected and a part of a community that encourages excellence in behavior.
Spring Creek Elementary, where the Hawks soar, shaping a culture of kindness, responsibility, and excellence. Thank you for joining us on this journey over Spring Creek. Come soar with us to keep the skies of Spring Creek ever brighter.
Thank you for letting me share that. And if you have questions now, I'm happy to try to answer them. Yes, please.
Thank you. That was a great presentation. I appreciated learning more about Spring Creek.
Thank you.
The Spanish-speaking social worker from Wasatch Behavioral Health, do you know if that social worker also works with the parents or just with the children?
Yes. So right now what we've set up is parents, of course, give permission, and they communicate with parents as they meet and as the need arises, but most of the support is directed at the students in school.
And you said that's a grant-funded program?
Yes. So when all I know is everybody at the district makes the magic happen. I remember talking to Jared and Wendy, and they went, I believe, to Student Services, to Doug and Charity and Clint Wolf. I mean, and honestly, within weeks, we had someone set up. And I can tell you it has made a world of difference in the lives of these kids.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for this presentation. Quick question about your teachers and helping them. How have you been able to help support them with the ML learners in their class and able to keep those kids in the classroom as opposed to pulling them out for instruction?
Well, first it comes out of necessity, right?
Yeah.
Because you have only so much money. Plus we know that best practice is that the teacher is delivering that. So it's been I would say, faceted. We've approached it from building the teacher capacity. Our teachers, most of them have their ELL endorsement or ESL endorsement, so they understand what good instruction looks like and how to best support students. So that's been powerful, but it's a willingness of our staff and faculty. They have the desire, they want to meet the needs of our students, and they know the more they learn and apply these skills through what we've done through professional development, that it translates into better outcomes for all students. So does that answer your question?
Well, that's great.
Okay.
Thank you for your presentation.
Yeah.
So one thing that really intrigued me was being a Title I school, your teachers are staying longer.
Yes.
Why do you think they're staying? Because I think that's amazing. That's great. If we can apply that to other schools.
So I take no credit for that. These are phenomenal educators who, I think the size of the school allows for people to feel like that they're family and a community, that they look at all students as their students. We have students in upper grades who have been taught by teachers in lower grades. Those teachers still know them and reach out to them. So I think it's a culture of the faculty just really genuinely wanting to stay and have a positive impact on students. It's really quite phenomenal. So I think it's just, and providing them the supports. I will say, I know I can speak confidently for every teacher that smaller class sizes, while we know that there's not research really supporting class size and academic achievement, it does help the sustainability of teachers in a Title I school. And they're able to feel like they can meet the needs of their students when there's 20 or 22 versus 29 or 31. So.
Great. Lisa?
I just want to first compliment you on the amazing work happening at your school. I know you don't want to take the credit for it, but I also know your leadership has helped set the tone and the expectation. Those growth scores are so fantastic, and the distribution of those growth scores across all of your populations, that is like a miracle story. I mean,
Yeah.
every school in the state should be asking you guys for advice right now on how to do that, because that's what we need to be doing, right? And that's that measure. I think if I were in a classroom with all of those challenges, but I was seeing growth,
Yeah.
I would want to stay in that classroom. Whereas if I'm doing that work, but then I just feel like I'm not really accomplishing anything with my kids, I can see how that would create burnout faster. Anyway, so just,
Right.
I love what you're doing. I can't wait
Thank
for
you.
other people to ask you. I hope people are watching and will come to you. I know a lot of schools are doing some of these things that you've been doing, and I just think it's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Jennifer.
Well, I have the privilege to represent this area and to attend your school community councils and PTA meetings, and I get to see firsthand that you guys have such a great focus on the students, but also looking at the data and using that to help you as you support the students. I think you've got a great system going with that. And to Melanie's question, from what I see, the teachers also have a great camaraderie together
Yes.
and support each other and create that family with each other as well as with the whole community, the students and the parents. So I
Absolutely.
think that's fantastic. And please go tell all your teachers and staff and support professionals, thank you for all their hard work and all they do to make Spring Creek a great school.
Thank you. I will. It definitely it takes every single person coming through the doors. Yeah.
That's great. So just
Yes,
lastly,
please.
I did also notice the growth scores. I thought that was really phenomenal. And I've heard many things mentioned in your presentation that point to reasoning why you would have such great growth scores. I've heard you talk about your SEL lessons on Fridays, and you do it throughout the week, and your support from your social workers and your community feeling, and you've got your teachers that are, did you say a lot of them are ELL certified?
Yes.
Is that right? And they stay for long. So I hear a lot of things, right, that point to why you would probably be seeing really great growth scores. I'm just wondering if you have anything else. Like, are there any specific things you've targeted, instructional practices or whatnot, that would help, that have helped your growth?
Well, something we've really been focusing on this year is our proficiency is very low, right? And that's something that we want to see. We want to see improvement in both of those areas, as well as attendance plays a key factor. And so we've really implemented some more attendance positive recognitions. We've done away with perfect attendance. We're looking at most improved or overall on-time attendance, different, because it's hard to be perfect, right? Especially when sometimes students are at the mercy of themselves to get them to school in some cases. So that I think has helped. And in looking at our attendance just the last 3 years, and then looking just today at the most recent Panorama survey. So I will say, let me just qualify that the 3 years of attendance data that I have comes from the SOAR report that we get from the district. I think we've gone down into the mid-upper 40s. In looking at Panorama growth year to date, which is somewhat different, we're at about 35%. We have seen we've done a lot of outreach to parents, and I think building those relationships, the family advocate has been a huge part of that. And, one success I'll share is we have a student with some chronically tardy, and that student has been on time 7 days in a row with a plan in place. And it's just great to see. But again, that is a collective effort of the teacher, the family advocate, the social worker, all reaching out and meeting with parents and bringing them in. So.
Great. Well, well done. Thank you so
Thank
very much
you
for
so
being here.
much.
And
Glad this is done.
I'll echo Jennifer. Please tell your staff and everyone there that's working so hard for all your students. Please tell them thank you.
I
from the
will
board.
do.
We appreciate all that's being done there.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Superintendent items.
Well, this kind of goes along with Ruth Ann, and so I wanted to let her do her presentation. But Ruth Ann had originally been assigned to be a literacy coach starting next year in our teaching and learning department. And we had a recent resignation of Principal Furman from Wasatch Elementary. And so we know that we need a very experienced principal, and we got together as a school leadership team, Jared, Assistant Superintendent Sites, Deputy Superintendent Cox, myself, Ruth Ann, and also Jay Porter, who is the principal that is currently assigned to go to Spring Creek, and sat down and looked at the needs of the schools. And we have asked Ruth Ann Snow to be the principal at Wasatch Elementary next year. And much to the dismay of Spring Creek Elementary, which tells you how beloved that Ruth Ann is by her staff, by her families. You have just done an outstanding job. I love going to Spring Creek Elementary. I have to tell you, I went there when there was a fire drill, an evacuation drill. I have never seen 400 students walk in a single file line with their faces in a bubble, because I had to be quiet so they could listen to their teacher's instructions. So and they walk to the church down below. So this is like silent walking and a single file line. Those kinds of things don't happen by accident. It's because of leadership. It's because of phenomenal teachers, that whole community coming together. And so I know that that's why there's disappointment there, but I hope you know, Ruth Ann, that that's because you're so loved. And I know that they will love Jay too, and I know that Wasatch will love you, and here we go, lots of change. But thank you for all that you have done for Spring Creek Elementary and for Provo City School District, for kids just in every position that you've had. You're a phenomenal leader.
All right, it's time for public input. Do we have any forms submitted for public input? No? Okay, all right. Then we'll go ahead and move on to our business items. We're going to start with business item number 1, a consideration to approve the student board member policy. And Wendy, if you'll give us a quick summary on that.
Yeah, so we just updated the student board member policy to align it more specifically with due dates at our high schools for student government elections. We also added more specifics tied to the procedures and gave more explicit guidelines about how much time these student board members spend, because I think we may have misrepresented a little bit how much time they're actually spending to prepare and participate in board meetings. Also, we added a procedure for Student Advisory Council. We found that that has been a really rewarding interaction with students, and making sure that the board is hearing their voices.
Okay, great, thank you so much. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve policy, don't have the number.
One, it's down at the bottom.
1110, thank you, as discussed in study session.
Okay, thank you so much. Motion made by Board Member Boyce. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Hales. Any further discussion or comments, starting with Board Member Boyce, if there's any?
I'm just so grateful this idea came. I think Gina was first exposed to the concept at an NSBA conference. There's been so much work in just leading up to when these board members were appointed, and they have really given us a lens that we needed to do a better job as a board, and I think we're in a better place because of their work, and I love that we have a policy so that this can continue. So thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, great. We'll go ahead and vote. All in favor with aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed with nay? That motion passes unanimously. Business item number 2, consideration to approve a combined nutrition services and CT. And Devin, if you'll give us a quick summary.
This is for a position to help with CTE, the CCAPS program, and the food truck that is owned by CTE, and then for 2 days a week and 3 days a week, help as an assistant manager in one of the secondary schools.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the addition of a combined nutrition services and CTE position as discussed in study session.
Thank you so much. Motion made by Board Member Van Wagenen. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Partridge. Any further comments or discussion, starting with Board Member Van Wagenen, if there's any?
I'm excited about the food truck that will be at and available for fundraising for our different groups and whatnot. So
I feel like our
thank you to the CAPS program and our students there working. Sounds like this has been years in the making. So that's exciting to kind of see it come get to this point. So.
And I was just going to add, I feel like our student board members were super excited at the thought of a food truck. So, okay, this will be great. Anyone else? All right, we can go ahead and vote. All in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? That motion passes unanimously. Business item number 3, consideration to approve the ELA curriculum. And let's see, Judy, do you want to give us a quick summary?
The Secondary Literacy Committee is seeking to update instructional materials for English language arts in grades 6 through 12 in accordance with the district's curriculum review cycle as outlined in Policy 4020. The Secondary Literacy Committee has met regularly over the past 2 years to assess newly implemented English arts standards, look at materials, and consider programs. With the approval of Assistant Superintendents Jarrett Seitz and Daryl Jensen, the committee now recommends to the board a motion to approve the adoption of McGraw-Hill's Study Sync for 6 through 12 English language arts courses.
Great, thank you so much. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the adoption of the Macmillan McGraw-Hill's Study Syncs instructional program for 6th through 12th grade English language arts courses as discussed in study session.
Thank you so much. Motion made by Board Member Hall. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Hales. Any further discussion, starting with Board Member Hall, if there's any?
I just want to say thank you to the committee and for all their hard work that they did to vet this program, and I'm excited to see it go forth.
Thank you. I'll pass that on.
Okay, great. We'll go ahead and vote. All in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? That motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Business item number 4, consideration to approve a large purchase request. This is for the ELA curriculum that we just approved, and now we'll be approving the purchase of it. And Devin.
This is just the purchase for the program of $886,569.57, plus the shipping costs for the 5 to 7 years of those materials as soon as we get that cost. So this is just to piggyback onto Judy's.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the large purchase request for ELA curriculum in the amount of $886,569.57 plus the shipping costs.
Thank you so much. Motion made by Board Member Partridge. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Boyce. Any further discussion, starting with Board Member Partridge, if there's any?
Thanks to Judy for also finding out what our needs truly are and saving us some money for not buying some materials that we're not going to be needing. So,
great. Excellent. Okay, we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? That motion passes unanimously. We will now approve our consent calendar. We discussed this in our study session, so I'll go ahead and assume there are no further questions on this. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the items on the consent calendar.
Thank you so much. Motion made by Board Member Hall. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Was that you, Meg?
Yes.
Second by Board Member Van Wagenen. Any further comments or discussion, starting with Board Member Hall, if there's any?
None.
That's great. We'll go ahead and vote. All in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? That motion passes unanimously. We'll now hear from our student board members who will give us their report.
Okay, so most recently we had a student advisory council meeting at Dixon Middle School last week. There was a lot of good discussion, and we had a lot of middle school students participate, which was really fun. We had a very good cell phone policy discussion, especially as the district considers whether or not we are going to move forward with a district-wide cell phone policy. Getting that sort of feedback was very useful.
Yeah. Not much else to say other than that. We had some good discussion. We also discussed a little bit about the valedictorian selection process. We mentioned that a little bit during our meeting. And then, yeah, not much else other than that. Any questions?
I would love to hear a little bit of the feedback you got on the cell phone policy.
So unsurprisingly, a lot of the middle schoolers do think that they should have some phone use during school. But it was actually kind of surprising to see how many were very neutral or even agreed with school policy saying that you couldn't use phones inside a classroom.
Yeah, and the way it would work, they would just basically just have it taken away, even if it was out, no matter like no first, second, or third offense, just taken away. And that's a good way to keep them not on them. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you also give some idea what the valedictorian discussion
Yeah,
entailed?
we mainly kind of just brought that up just to let them know about it, because it would be affecting them when and if it does get changed. That they'll be the class that first gets affected by it, because the ones who are already in high school are already working off the current system, and so we didn't want to implement it. So because they're already used to, or some kids already could be working towards valedictorian from the current system. So once they get into high school, that's when it'll be put in place, and when they're seniors.
So it's the discussion that you guys already had as high school group previously, and you're sharing with them
Yeah.
what
and,
you
and
were
we just
talking
had a
about. Okay.
status update at where that is, and right now I believe the plan is to put it into a committee, and it will go over a few years. And because we still have high school students operating under this current system, we'll wait to implement it for a few years long after we're gone.
Yeah.
Great. It's great. Any further questions? Okay, great. Thank you so much, boys. Guys.
Thank you.
All right. And now our business administrator report.
Well, I've been business administrator for 2 weeks, and we've survived it so far. I think until I figure out exactly what I want to report on, I would just like to share my appreciation for the board and for Wendy and for all of the directors and cabinet that I've been able to develop relationships with and to gain respect and a lot of collaboration with, and I hope that continues. So I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We're so glad to have you for the last 2 weeks and for hopefully quite a long time in the future. Thank you so much. All right, board member roundtable. We'll go ahead and give board members a chance to report on their committee assignments, and we'll mix it up and start with Lisa this time. Is that okay, Lisa? Can I surprise you?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah. So one of the committees I serve on is the Provo Foundation Board with Terry. And they recently had their Easter basket auction, and a lot of district employees as well as foundation members and community members worked really hard on that. It's looking like maybe their best year yet, and we don't have final numbers on it, but it was a really successful year. So thank you to everyone who came out and supported that event. And I love all the good work that I feel like they're doing. Coming up next week, they'll have an evening of excellence where some of our district educators are honored. And one of the highlights at that event for me is hearing from the students or the people who they've impacted come and share a way that they've had impact on their life. And this week when they were discussing one of the recipients whose name I cannot remember, 2 of the foundation board members were like, wait, is that my old first grade teacher? Yes, in fact. It is. But Shauna, can you tell me her name? Okay. So anyway, I'm excited to be there and to honor them, and I'm just so grateful for all the ways we can recognize different people contributing in the district. And I'll let people report on the other committees.
Terry?
We had foundation today. That's my only committee meeting.
Great.
Spring break.
Okay. Sounds good. Jennifer?
Have we reported on legislative committees last time? I don't remember. We're about to meet next week as the legislative committee, but we post-session had a wrap-up at our last meeting and just kind of some takeaways on what we can do, and we're going to continue to focus on building relationships with our legislators, inviting them into our schools right now and helping them see what's going well and have conversations with them about the needs we still have and help make them aware of that. And then also I sent you guys an email today, but just wanted to follow up here in this meeting. For USBA Board of Directors, we're going to be meeting soon and talking about bylaws for the Joint Legislative Committee and kind of making that clear process on some things. So I've got some ideas of what I would like to bring to that meeting, but if you guys have other, like, I want to hear your feedback too, so I can take that there. Also, the JLC is meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. as well as in May, and we're going to be focused on establishing the document that we'll bring to the delegate assembly on June 8th. That then is our draft that we work off of to establish our priorities, and then the delegates vote on that on June 8th. So traditionally, JLC meetings are open to anyone, so if you want to come, let me know and I'll give you the details of that.
Okay, great, thank you. Meg?
I'll just report quickly on PTA Council. We had our meeting today, but most of this past month they did their Golden Apple Dinner to award that award to some of our teachers out of the schools, and it was a lovely event. It was really great to gather. We were at Provo High School, which was super fun to be in one of our high schools to honor our teachers, and the PTA Council did a great job with that. So,
Gina.
I just want to put in a plug for our student board member applications. We have the applications are open. They are due May 1st. Please correct me, Daryl, or students, if I'm wrong. Is that correct? So they're due May 1st. So any student, any high school students, sorry, any incoming senior. So if you're going to be a senior next year, if you know a senior that you think would be good at this or would enjoy this, please apply. There's a video that's out that I haven't figured out how to share yet because I'm technologically
Meg will help you.
challenged. But please apply. We would love to have, I really like having student representation, and we'd love to have a variety of people to choose from. So those applications are due May 1st. Independence High School students, you can also apply. So please don't let that stop you if you feel like you haven't been included. As long as you live within the boundaries of Timpview or Provo High School, we would love to have you apply as well.
I was able to attend our MTech board meeting, and I'm just always so happy to hear progress that are going on. And we have lots of new campuses that are going to be opening. Plus, I heard that they will be getting extra funding to complete the Provo MTech, which will be great, so that we can maybe expand our offerings there. And the other thing I just want to do is give a plug and a shout out to those who put on the This Is Us program last night. It was an amazing opportunity for those kids to showcase their talents. It was fun to see singing and dancing and acting, and to see all the different types of artwork that are taking place in our schools. Such a broad range of talent, and I just want to applaud all those, and I'm glad that we can showcase them.
Awesome. Great, thank you so much, everybody. Superintendent report.
So we have had some travel that falls within the category of my authorization that I want to inform you of. So we had travel in March for boys volleyball at Timpview High School, and Timpview High School also had FCCLA state leadership meeting. They have now applied they had some qualifiers for the national FCCLA conference that will be taking place in June that has been approved. And then student government from Provo High School does a leadership retreat. They do that up in Midway. That will be taking place at the end of May. And then Provo High's girls golf team is currently at a tournament in Vernal because of how the region alignment is. So that's our most recent student travel. Student travel is starting to wind down a little bit now that the school year is ending. I just wanted to give, well, I'm kind of doing this ahead of time. I sat through 8 hours of going through legislative bills. There were 166, I believe, education bills that were passed, and just recognizing how much our district leadership team is going to be involved in helping with developing procedures and making sure that we're following all of those pieces of everything, and the policy committee has their work cut out for them. But it just made me really grateful for just the incredible people that we work with in Provo City School District, from our district leadership team that I work with in cabinet and MTSS to our board members, and got to know Devin quite a bit on our trip down to St. George, and we're just sitting there a little bit kind of glassy-eyed as we're looking at all of the things to do. But even in spite of that challenge, you know, last week I went to Amelia Earhart and sat in a student success team meeting, and just watching the care with which every single student that teachers and the staff were worried about, and how intentional they were about bringing the parents into that conversation, about making sure that the right supports were in place, how much Ryan McCarty was helping with that. It really was a team effort. I had the opportunity to do the same thing at Spring Creek Elementary. And just big shout out to our student services team. They've really developed the model for what that looks like. These are conversations we've never had in education. Like when I first started as a teacher, that it was a sink or swim kind of situation, and just to watch how much we care about the whole child and what's happening, and any way in which we can break down those barriers and really maximize opportunities for all students, and to see how dedicated every educator is to that. It's really phenomenal to watch school teams exhibit that much care and consideration. And then I just want to give a shout out to Dixon Middle School's faculty, because they were actually very nice to me at the listening tour, and they probably did have a lot of things that I don't know, I just really appreciate teachers' willingness to be candid and to be open and to be vulnerable. And we always have work to do. And so it was a great way to end a Friday, was at Dixon Middle School, with the listening tour and just be in the presence of teachers. So.
Great, thank you so much, Superintendent Dow. We are at the end of our meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn our business meeting?
I move that we adjourn our business meeting.
Okay, thank you, Board Member Boyce. We are adjourned.